What a man. The CIC Julius Malema. Very impressed by the man, the presser that was held at Mamawini Matikizela Mandela House, the house of the EFF, the Economic Freedom Fighters in South Africa. Very impressed by this man because this man demonstrated something very interesting yesterday. I see all the other things he was speaking about. Maybe we can speak about that separately. But I like to address the fact that he's willing to still continuously die on the heel of the Progressive Caucus. He's willing to still remain in the Progressive Caucus, even though there's all of this confusion between the MK party and the EFF. There's always this back and forth, always these insults. And I'm glad he addressed the issue of the colored leader, Mr. Adams, because Mr. Adams is becoming such a disappointment. But I want you guys to listen to this here.
The Progressive Caucus is there. I mean, even when we went to, what do you call it, to vote for budget, we had a meeting with the Progressive Caucus. We took a position with the NCC. The NCC was there. You saw that meeting we had with ANC by the toilet there in Parliament. There is a picture. They were standing next to the toilet. The ANC was asking us to abstain so that they can get the numbers, because they were not sure about the numbers. They were asking us to abstain. And they went to do that to NCC. They said they must abstain. So the NCC, having known that they participated in the Progressive Caucus and the position was taken there, they were not prepared to abstain being physically there. So they pretended like they are going outside for something and then they disappeared, which is a very unacceptable practices. I mean, we must not relate as if what is on the street. You can just, mislead people and disappear. But the people of South Africa will judge them for who they are. The ANC said the court papers have nothing to do with tax. The court spoke to tax. So the ANC is exposed. And I don't understand why would Mbalula say the ANC has always opposed VAT and the media doesn't take him head on. That who presented the VAT? Because the VAT didn't present itself there in Parliament. It was the ANC finance minister who presented the VAT and the budget. And then the ANC, after securing that narrow victory, they celebrated. They were singing. And then they were joined by that prisoner, the ex-convict. He was singing the loudest from the front there, like a child excited. So when you come and say you didn't support VAT, and VAT gets adopted, and then you dance, you ululate, you celebrate, and the people of South Africa still trust such people as leaders of society. People who lie openly in public, lie, that we never supported. There's nothing wrong with a principle that said, well, we thought this was going to be the most effective way to collect more taxes, but after many persuasions, the ANC withdraws its proposal. Because we went to have a meeting with the ANC. They were telling us that we must support 0.5%. We refused. We said we're not going to support any VAT increase, and then we're not going to participate in anything that has got to do with the DA and the Freedom Front Plus. So it's a lie. It's a complete lie. I don't think the question about people attending churches and all of that, it's really our concern, because you're going to ask us in future, you saw so-and-so attending a club or shebeen or something. We have nothing to do with such things. People do what they want to do, and they don't belong to our organization, so we have nothing to do with that.
Yes, Progressive Caucus, guys, is still on. Ninga mangale, because MK party people, sometimes they wake up, they insult the EFF, Sometimes EFF people, they wake up, they insult the MK party. Don't be amazed by all of that for you to even conclude that there is no more a progressive caucus in South Africa. A progressive caucus is still there, is still intact. These people still are working together because they made a principled decision to stand by the progressive charter, which they all signed on the document of the charter. So the progressive caucus is still on. I like that he made it very clear, the progressive caucus, and is willing to die on the hill with the progressive caucus. The issue of the NCC, the colored party, is very disappointing because a few days back I made a video of Mr. Adams introducing himself to the GNU, telling the whole world, the whole people of South Africa and all the colored people, including the same progressive caucus, telling us that he is no more part of progressive caucus. He is now part of the GNU. He's going to be mingling with the people of the GNU because we can't always be an opposition. Sometimes we have to work together, seeking for blue lights, Mr. Adams. I still love Mr. Adams. My love and my acknowledgement of the man's brilliance doesn't come from him being in a progressive caucus or GNU. I just like the man. I like the way he is, his bravado, his type of leadership. When he speaks, I listen because I'm very impressed by Mr. Adams. But I'm kind of disappointed because the CIC is even exposing something very serious here. There was a picture circulating online where it was during the vet voting in Parliament, where the CIC was seen with Mr. Gwedemantashi and the Deputy President, Mr. Paul Mashatile, in a circle. And it was the CIC and those two gentlemen, including the SG of the EFF, Mr. Marshall Dlamini. That picture was circulating and people were saying the EFF is there in the corners, busy having conversations on how to sell out. They didn't know the content of that picture, what was happening. The CIC explained that picture. He's saying that the ANC was trying to corner him and Mr. Marshall Dlamini because Mr. Marshall Dlamini is the chief whip of the EFF in Parliament. So they were trying to corner them, these people, for them to abstain from voting against the VAT hike. The CIC went against that. Apparently, the Progressive Caucus, they decided they're gonna vote against the VAT hike, including the colored leader. Guess what the CIC exposed yesterday? The colored leader signed, the colored leader agreed that they're gonna be voting together as the Progressive Caucus against the VAT hike. And then he went to be cornered, like the CIC was cornered, and Mr. Adams, they cornered him in a corner, and then they bullied him and they managed to take that bravado away from him to even make him lose his senses to the point whereby Mr. Adams decided to not even be present in Parliament to even vote for the VAT hike or vote against it. He was not even willing to go there and be seen voting yes or no. That's how much the man was very compromised. But hey, it is what it is. We wouldn't have known this if it wasn't for the CIC. Even that picture, we wouldn't have known what was the context of that picture if it wasn't for the CIC. And we wouldn't have known and even have this confirmation which we have now that the Progressive Caucus is still intact. Is intact. But so pete so laba be MK party sebafuna phansi phezulu ama Mr. Wilbaro. But it is what it is, guys. We thank you very much. Tango.